All right, I'm Daryle Tibbs, and I'm the owner of Tibbs Law Office, and today I want to discuss the second phase of probate administration basics in our Probate Administration 101. We already discussed phase 1, which is the phase where the probate estate is opened. Phase 2, which we're going to discuss today, is I consider it the liquidation phase, and then phase 3 is the phase within which we distribute and close up the estate. In phase 2, it's pretty simple. We have to identify the assets, we have to inventory the assets, we have to liquidate the assets, and pay any debts that need to be paid. So identifying the assets consists of identifying any documentation for those assets, going to banks within which we know folks have bank accounts, ask about safety deposit boxes. Once the executor has their appointment papers, they're able to get information that will help them identify the assets. In regards to inventorying the assets, we have to report back to the probate court any assets that are out there and the value of those assets. Now, if we don't have a readily ascertainable value of those assets, then we're going to have to get a valuation of those assets, an appraisal of those assets, and we have to report that back to the probate court. The third, liquidating the assets. Liquidating the assets is not always going to happen. Sometimes the folks that are going to receive the assets don't necessarily want to liquidate the assets. But in cases where we have bank accounts, we need to get those bank accounts out of the person who, the decedent's bank account, and put them into an estate bank account so that they're readily attainable for the executor to use to do the fourth thing that they need to do here, which is pay any debts. If an executor has to open an estate within 6 months and creditors make claim against the estate, or if a creditor just makes a claim against the estate during that time period, then those debts are going to have to be paid out of the assets of the estate. And so the fourth thing here that we do is we basically take the liquidated assets that we have and we pay those debts with that money. It's important to understand that executors don't have to take any of their own personal assets or their own personal money to pay any of these debts. And it is possible that at the end, there won't be enough assets to pay the debts of the estate, and that's okay. We would report that back to the probate court and let them handle that and deal with that.